Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Kenton Wakes Up. Oh, let me get my stuff together. Just so excited to get this thing moving. I forgot to set things up all the way. Anyway, today is Monday, February, Monday, April 21st, 2025. That's tasty. In the cup today, I had just enough coffee beans to make a full pot of the Aveley Farms Coffee Roasters El Regalito. So that's all gone. Next time I'm in Towson, I'll have to stop by and pick up another bag because it's tasty. Um, the in world news today, unfortunately, Pope Francis the First died this morning in Rome. Um, he was. I'm not Catholic, and I don't really. There's many things about the Catholic Church that I don't agree with, but he, as a pope, was a very good steward for the poor and the otherwise disenfranchised. He did a lot to open the door to allowing LGBTQ individuals to sort of attain, or at least for the church faithful to be told to allow the LGBTQ community to participate equally. And as the other part of the reality of him being a lightning rod for his views about disenfranchised, poor um, groups of people who were ostensibly the aim of the Beatitudes, were not part of the official, I don't know, officially sanctioned lifestyles among the churchgoers. And so he attained a pretty healthy, healthy in the sense of robust rather than sane. He attained a rather large anti following, people who felt like he was undermining the teachings of the church and X, Y, and Z. Not very popular with certain people. Popular with some people that I, in my own mind, feel like deserve a little bit of friendliness. Everybody deserves to be treated like a human being, and I think that he wasn't asking for much more than that. And I can't say fear. I don't participate in the process, and I'm not subject to the result, so I don't know why it matters to me. So, what has often been the case in the past is that the successor to a pope who attained a following for one particular reason or the other, that the person who follows will be on the opposite end of that spectrum. So, given the way that things are going with the executive branch of government in the United States and their stated desire to relegate the same or similar groups of people to the ash heap of history. So if you came here to hear me advocate for a certain point of view, I will tell you or ask you to consider speaking up for somebody who's getting a raw deal. Somebody who's not getting the same, sometimes you get a break in life. Something happens and allows you to continue on your pathway, even though just as likely could have gone the opposite way where you'd be stopped dead in your tracks. That's called a break. To me, it's a fortunate outcome, a circumstance that acknowledge that. Acknowledge that you've gotten some breaks. Everybody has. And that when you see somebody getting the opposite of a break, be the be the person who's the break for that person. Say something. Call out the nonsense. And that's pretty much it. Today's otherwise mostly normal Monday. Got a text this morning that my colleague that I normally meet with around noon is sick today, so won't be coming into work. I don't know what that means for our scheduled meeting for today. I'll ask closer to noon. That also means no racquetball this afternoon, so I'll be staying home, which is a blessing. Don't need to go to Towson today. When I don't have those meetings, I don't have to be there, so I do have to be there tomorrow, so I will be there tomorrow. Aveley Farms, El Regalito. One other thing. Um, I recognized this morning I woke up with a clear uh, feeling in my mind that I'm fearful of certain types of dynamics. Fearful, strong word. I anticipate negativity coming from a certain small number of locations. One is my work email inbox. Another is my voicemail inbox. And the third is uh, messages that come from certain individuals. And I realized that that pattern had started back when I was a tech guy 27 years ago. That part of my job, I had decided in my mind that being responsive to tech support needs was very important. And so whenever I got a phone call from somebody needing help, I would go and attend to that person's needs. And it got to the point where, just like Pavlov's dog, I became conditioned that when the phone rang, I interpreted that as an interruption, a an opportunity to completely put down what I'm working on and go do something for someone else. And that's been my and that same I fully am fully aware of the anxiety that would come from noticing that I have a voicemail on my telephone at work. It doesn't mean I have to sit down that minute and respond, but that's how I did respond. When I get saucy emails, saucy in the sense that somebody's expecting me to do something on a short timeline, I got pretty uh, conditioned to feeling like there was one of those in the inbox all the time. And at a certain point in my life, I was, that was part of my job. I would I earned my, my stutz, as the Swiss say. I earned my, I put food in my on my plate based on the work that I was doing. That was part of the work. It didn't have to become part of my ordinary um, life. The rest of my public life or private life, I didn't have to become conditioned in that way. But just through a series of very infrequent, though consistent reminders that when the phone rings and it's somebody in particular on the other end, that you need to put down what you're doing and pay attention to that person. And that person might have had some uh, mental sanity issues that they needed to work through. And they were trying to transfer that onto me. And because I was trying to show them that I had a particular affection for them, that I accepted it. So that's not how life is supposed to be. If when I grew up, when I was first born, the telephone rang, and if you didn't answer it, then nobody got in touch with you. There was, at that time, no mechanism to even leave a message. So when somebody wanted to contact you, they had to keep trying until they got a hold of you. So the concept of an inbox or a voicemail or whatever now shifts the onus onto the recipient rather than the sender. And I think that I internalized that. That's a mismatch, by the way. As the sender, I don't have a. I'm not supposed to assume that I have actually delivered the message just because I left a recording. Just because I sent an email. And so expecting somebody to respond is me being it's probably not technically narcissism, but it's kind of. I left a voicemail. That's a request for your time. It's not a demand. And unfortunately, at a particular point in my life, I think I was 27 or something when I first took that first job as a tech guy, that I felt like my value to people was in my responsiveness. And so responsiveness became my own metric. That's unhealthy. And that's what I woke up recognizing today, that I had put myself in this situation feeling a profound emotional debt at this point in my life because I've been walking around with a emotional deficit, coming in to every conversation assuming that somebody else has a valid request for my time and attention, and they probably don't. So be protective, not defensive. That's probably it. That's pretty personal. All right. Enjoy your Monday, even though Mondays are for meetings for unbreaking things that got broken over the weekend. Love you. Bye.